Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long was 1975. A YouTuber on the rise, reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long Boys Bros 1975.
Welcome to another ZX Spectrum versus Commodore 64 comparison video, as I like to call it, Playground Wars. In this video we're taking a look at XYBOTS, released in the arcades in 1987 by Atari, and it was a split screen 3D maze game. I think at some point it was supposed to be in the Gauntlet family, or canon to Gauntlet I should say, and it's set in the future, and there are one or two characters. As I said, it splits the screen up at the bottom. I've got a gameplay of the arcade and I've played both these versions before, but I do enjoy making these videos, so I thought I'd compare this because I have a soft spot for XYBOTS, also mainly because my older brother got it back in the day when we were all allowed to mail order a game out the back of a, a magazine. I think it was Sinclair, usually your Sinclair. You know when you ordered a game that was a couple of months old, so you got like £3 or £4 off it. Anyway, in the arcades there are two players, Mayor Rock Hardy, Mayor, that would be an awesome mayor, Major Rock Hardy, and Captain Ace Gun, who must travel through a 3D maze and fight against a series of robots, guess what they're called, who are trying to destroy all of mankind. Reasonably big hit, got ported to the Amiga, the Atari ST, the Amstrad Spectrum, and the Commodore. Was going to be a Mega Drive version, there was going to be an NES version, but there were not. But as far as I can remember, all the 8-bit micros and the 16-bit micros got pretty decent, I can't talk, decent reviews, so let's get into it. So we're actually going to go with Kempston because it makes traversing the maze a little bit easier. Where's my bloody keyboard? There's my bloody keyboard. Right, then obviously player one would be keys. Can you both play on keys? Stop making me reach for the friggin' keyboard. I think you can probably both play on keys. Now anyway, so obviously character names are at the top and the left. There's a high score. Bottom left, press fire to start. That will be me as I'm player one. Bottom right, press fire to start. That will be blank as player, well, there's no one else here, as player two isn't playing. I don't know how many mazes there are, but there are absolute load, and you have to progress fighting a number of different enemies, each progressing in skill and in basically how hard they are. And there are secret areas should you find a key. Fire. Right, it's 48k only, so unfortunately, oh, that's all the sound effects you're gonna get. So obviously I'm blue, I'm on the left, and the player on the right, despite his name being in green, will be red. Now, you're thinking, the screen is really rather quite small. Look up the arcade, and also the way that you move is pretty accurate to the arcade as well. Yeah, I know, believe it or not. Now, if you look at the top screen in the middle between both players' health and attributes and things like that, you will see a relatively simple maze. Oh, hang on. Shit, I was looking at the maze and not paying attention. But if I hold fire and then press right, I turn to face the right. So now, look at the maze, you can see me. I'm now literally looking to the right. Can't look behind. So, there we go. So I was looking to the left, now I'm looking forward. The sound, does what it says on the tin for a 48k game, but I like the style of graphics. They're really, really quite sharp. I mean, again, look at what it was trying to convert. This is pretty decent. And when it does run in simultaneous two-player, it's really, really actually quite impressive, because I have managed to play it with someone. I think it was about 2 years ago when I did a gameplay of this. I've played it on the links as well. So yeah, as far as I can remember, there's no slowdown. So that in itself is incredibly impressive. So I can see, oh, I'm dead, how it would be in the Gauntlet family. Maybe they're trying to make a futuristic Gauntlet. I'm pretty sure that's what I read. Right, so press fire, turn right, move forward, press fire and left. Right, you can see the enemy on the map. There's a key. They're kind of flashing in and out. I do like the fact that way back in the distance, around the corner, then you could see them. There you go. That's kind of cool. Balls that up. Turn left again. Where's my health? My health is somewhere at the top right, but just don't get hit. You can only take a few hits. I'm going backwards now. That does take a little bit of getting used to. Now I'm going forwards. I like it. It's cool. Money is for upgrades in between levels. I've got money. Does that mean I've lost the key? Oh, hang on. On one of these, there should be a keyhole. I've probably missed it, or maybe you don't get it. And you stick the key in, it opens up a side portion of the maze with more baddies to shoot and stuff like that. You can tell because there's a hole in the middle of the side. Oh, there we go. Look. Turn. See, now in front of me you can see that's basically the end. Get there, it's the end of the level. But now you can see the key. I picked up said key, so in we go. And I'm dead. Good to know. I don't remember this being quite so tricky. But anyway, I think the graphics are really, really nice. That's not just me being a Spectrum fanboy. I like them. Think about what it has to do, you know, especially when there are two people on the screen at the same time. And also, think about in the arcades for 1987. Yeah, I know, it's a couple of years after Outrun and stuff like that. But it's pretty decent. Turn right. There you go. Just see him around the corner. Like I said, you get used to that. Is that because... who's firing at me? Oh, he's down there. Turn around. He's shooting at me from behind. That's just not cricket. Turn right. Go forwards. Turn right. The problem is, don't be hammering far. It does hamper your controls a little bit there. Don't be hammering far, then press left or right to strafe. You've got to leave a little gap, or basically you're going to turn around. And yeah. So that does take getting used to, but to be fair, all versions suffer from that. I would have loved to have seen a Mega Drive version. Surely the Mega Drive, I mean the 16-bit versions in this country were awesome sauce. I'm lost again. So I would have loved to have seen a Mega Drive version. I wonder if there's like, hang on, right. There we go. Sorry, I was facing the wrong way. I wonder if there's like, am I going backwards now? No, I'm going backwards. Turn right, turn right. There we go. You get used to it. You'll acclimatise if you will. But yeah. Anyway, trying to finish what I was saying. I wonder if there's like an unfinished version of it out there. Same with the NES. In fact, if you know, just let me know. Then I don't have to bother looking it up. I'm lazy like that. Right. Where was the... Can't go back. Apparently. Where was the hole? Oh well. We exit level. Turn around. Is that why I couldn't go back? I was facing the wrong way. Right, let's try that again. And now I kind of got my head around the controls. It's been a while. Let's see if I can actually do it. I want to get maybe a level or two. Oh, I was lucky. Into it, just for the point of comparison. But I think it looks nice. Look at him. I mean, 1988, 87 is when this came out. It could have been, I mean, to be fair, anything after 85, there could have been 1 to 8K versions. I guess it was just a question of, you know, is it worth developing 2 versions, the cost and stuff like that, and, you know, obviously having to do extra stuff, taking advantage of the extra memory and sound, or should we just bang one out, because then it's one, you know, fit for all, if you will. I kind of get it, but I still, you know, I still had a 1 to 8 back in the day. The arrow is to retreat. No, the arrow is to like let you know that that's the way you want to go. It's quite useful. You had a +3. I'm sure I told that story before. Oh no, don't come. It's weird. Right, don't come backwards when I'm there. So basically, as soon as you see him, shoot him. Just like life, really. As soon as you see him, shoot him. Shoot him all. Ask questions later. Safe and sorry, if you will. But it's impressive when you see the sprites, you know, obviously very, very small, but lurking around in the background. There you go, right. That spot up there means I've got enough I can exit, but... Run! That's bad. Oh! That's a second exit. I had to do that then because they were both right in front of the door. Yeah, that's a new one. Does that mean they, well, not in real time, but you know what I mean? They kind of move around behind the door and do their thing. Right. Move faster, better shields, fast shots, shot power. There you go. See, the money you have. So I've got 3 upgrades. The money you have determines how you know, good your upgrades are. Done. Prepare to enter level 7. Holy shit. That's because that was essentially a warp. So that's cool. So this is where you can totally see the Gauntlet collection. Look at the map. So I've jumped a whole bunch of levels forward, which now means it's a lot harder. So my upgrades, they mean nothing. Excuse me. My upgrades give me a gacky throat. But the shots they're taking, where am I? So what is it? What was the robot called? In the black hole? Is it Maximilian? Oh, there's my arrow. Bottom right in the top of the yellow maze. Turn left. Facing the wrong way. There we go. So you've got to get. Oh, hang on. They blow up? No. You've totally got to get used to these controls, because obviously at this point, the further you progress into the maze, the enemy is all around you. Hey, that way. I'm glad it does that. Or I'd be fucked. Oh, look at him up there. Right, once you get extra speed to your shots, that does make it a lot easier to fire and strafe, because you can fire a couple of shots and then moving it, so you don't necessarily hold down fire. Why aren't you dying? Yes, because it's got shields. Yeah, hold down fire, then accidentally press a button, which ultimately means you turn around. Oh, hang on, and I'm dead. Right, well, let's have one more quick go, and then, so I move from right, bottom left of the yellow maze, and then I should appear on the right hand side. That's interesting. Okay, so, and as you can see, the levels, oh, this level is a whole lot wider. Does that mean since I continued and it's doing like put money in the arcades, that I'm pretty sure there's a bad guy there, that what I've killed so far remains dead? I picked up something. I have no idea what it is. I think it is. I think once they're dead, they're dead. And I got that. Do you know what? I think this is a really decent port of the arcade. I really can't remember what it was like on the Commodore. I played that a couple of years ago as well, so it will be kind of cool. Oh, look at this! I'm a friggin' death machine. Yeah, but really cool to see how they compare. I mean, on paper you would think, especially when it comes to colour, that the Commodore would be able to, I'm not saying do anything like, you know, like arcade quality and stuff, but definitely do a better version than Spectrum. Right, anyway, there you go. Look at this. This is, maybe it's me with my Spectrum glasses. I'm actually really quite impressed with this. Oh, I'm loving this gun. Oh, so it fucks off. Anyway, let's have a look at the Commodore 64 version. Balls. This is XYBOTS on the Commodore 64. Now, right away, you can tell it's obviously got title music. And it's actually pretty good, but then you would expect that. So obviously, as I mentioned, the ZX Spectrum was 48K, not 128K, but that does not mean it could not have music. Now, the colour at the top of the screen means that the names themselves are highlighted instead of being in a chunk of blurry attribute clash colour. And your heads up is a lot more sort of sharper and easier to read, but there's not a massive amount in it. Now, I forgot to mention at the start of this video, these games were released on the micros by Domark, and I believe Tengen, because I'm British and we say Tengen, not Tengen. Tengen sounds crap, but that's just me, and the rest of the British people. Yeah, I'm sure Tengen had a hand in there, but Domark, to their credit, ported a whole bunch of Atari games. They ported this, they ported, was it Xenophobe, they ported Vindicators, that really cool little tank game, which I might have to do a comparison video of, and they also ported the original Star Wars arcade trilogy of games, the first two vector ones and the third isometric one, and have gameplays of them, all three of them in comparison videos. So they obviously had some sort of exclusivity deal with Atari games. So anyway, waffleage aside, let's get into the Commodore version of this game. Right, so no music, it's stopped. Okay, press fire to start. Now it defaults just to joystick basically, so I'm assuming based on the original Commodore 64 this is on my C64 Mini. Whatever joystick is in port 1 will be player 1, whatever joystick is in port 2 will be player 2, but I don't know because I never had it back in the day, so fire. Right, so first things first, it's incredibly similar. Your HUDs are easier to read. I am on the right. I don't know if it would have been a different colour on the left. I guess with that divide in the middle, those red dots, it doesn't actually make any difference. Exactly the same display as the Spectrum version, and the map is exactly the same. A little bit more colour and easier to see, but then it's... how far can it differ from the arcade? I think the resolution is slightly different. The screen is a lot more sort of crushed into the middle, but again that's a resolution thing. But what I will say is graphically they are very similar, but the Commodore does seem to move a lot quicker while there is no music, and there's not a massive amount in it, I know there isn't, but your sound effects for your gun do sound better. But I mean, to be perfectly honest, they're not night and day apart, are they? Definitely feels a little quick, not massively, not like the Spectrum one felt sluggish or anything, but definitely feels a little quicker on the Commodore 64. Now how do I turn? Holding far, press right, turn to the right, press left, straight again, press left again, looking back from where I came from. Now obviously it's a maze game, but it's not isometric or anything like that. It's screen by screen, which does give a decent depth of, or illusion of 3D, but I can't see that the speed of the processor would have any problem with this like it did with other sort of 3D games. I mean, this is a game that pretends to be 3D. That was a bit awkward, but isn't really 3D. But then, to be fair, the arcade game was. It wasn't like, 1987, you could, had a twisty stick and you could rotate 180 degrees. I mean, that sort of shit didn't happen then. Right, the best way to do is edge forward and then turn around. But also, make sure you're looking at the map so you know that, you could be at a bottleneck or a dead end and you have to turn around again really quickly to see the enemy. What I will say, I'm not sure what I was expecting, but because of introducing, colour into a sort of the Spectrum version of this maze, you would have got a massive amount of attribute clash. Why is there not colour on here? Is this a port of another? I ran out. I think that's time. Is this your energy sticking down? Is this some sort of port? They're not written from the ground up. I honestly don't know. But yeah, elephant in the room. Where's all the bloody colour? I know I usually start with Spectrum games, but even I can say I'm playing a Commodore 64 game. I want colour. I mean, it's nice to have it in the HUD, which makes it easier to read, but. Well, the enemies couldn't. I don't honestly think we wouldn't have to worry about attribute clash. Now, clearly everyone's dead, so I've just killed them. Your energy, I've just noticed it, your energy is ticking down. So when I sit around and talk and do absolutely nothing, I'm basically lining myself up for an early grave. Right, did I get the key? But the key will move me to level 7. Do I want to go to level 7? For the purpose of this gameplay, maybe. But let's not. Let's see how far we go. Let's see how much upgrades I've got. Boom, little teleport off, lacks the colour of the Spectrum. Right, you have, I've got $3. It's not particularly great pay, is it, for saving all of humanity? Slow energy, guard mapper. Is this because I've exited through a different door? I don't know. Slow energy. I don't know what they do. Prepare to enter level 2. Right, this is a lot simpler. It's the Maximilian robot. It doesn't seem to be quite so prevalent to accidentally trying to kill it and pressing directions to strafe left and right that you accidentally turn around and face the wall. Oh, look at that. Yeah, do you know what, right? Lack of colour aside, it feels a little bit sharper. I would say it probably looks a little bit, not massively sharper on the Commodore, but it definitely feels squashed. But again, like I said, if that's a resolution thing, then what are you going to do? I always forget that. You only really ever notice that, that the Commodore was a bit squashed. When you do comparisons, turn left. Yeah, do you know what? Turning is nowhere near as sensitive, so that would be why I can strafe. There you go. Oh, he says that. Somewhat easier than the Spectrum version. I am going forward. I thought I was going backwards. I do like the fact that, again, it's way, 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 way back in the, you know, the background. But there's enough detail that, right, let's see how it, you know, oh, I've shot it when it gets bigger, how it looks. But there's enough detail for it, like, to, you still recognise what enemy sprite it is what I'm trying to say. I'm wishing I'd gone the other route, but so I could do more of a direct comparison. First world problems. Like I said, do you think, like, look at him, oh look, hang on. So it enlarges them screen by turn left, screen by screen, which you expect. I'm dead, but do you know what? It does a pretty decent, you know, job of displaying them from equal to big. Obviously it's not software sprite scaling, but there's enough sort of images between that you get a decent look. It's small, Maximilian, now it's large, Maximilian. Spectrum doesn't usually do that so well, actually, in the background on this Commodore version, and you get the whole kind of, it's just big while being small, but right. Anyway, I'm going to say that, and it pains me to say this, I am extremely disappointed in the lack of colour in this version. I'm sure someone can probably explain that to me. Is it a port? It feels like a port. The sound effects are slightly better, but that's like saying, you know what, I'm banging a tin drum and banging a fucking iron drum. They're both tinny and crunchy. I don't, maybe it's just sharper and crunchier and louder on the Commodore, but it's not a deal breaker. But it just feels slightly sharper and quicker, and you don't fuck up your turning around quite so much. I mean, what it actually is as a maze game is, you know, kind of limited, but I guess it's whether or not you like the arcade. But yeah, oh, see, arrow though, both of us has got the arrow that tells you to turn around. You're about to be shot in the face, you dumb tard. I don't know why they were standing still there, but I'll take that. But yeah, there's not a massive amount in it. Both versions do an extremely good job of replicating the arcade. Both versions look extremely similar and very close, you know, to each other, with the exception of the size of the screen. But the Commodore feels a little bit sharper. I would have preferred it if it was wider, but feels a little bit sharper and plays a little bit sharper. So I guess I've got to give this version to the Commodore 64. Who says? I always side with the Spectrum. Be very interested to see what the Amstrad version looks like now. But anyway, as always, I'd love to know what you think. Did you have either of these back in the day, you know, on either of these machines? And which one do you think looks or plays better? And is it a resolution thing, or is it a port thing? I don't know. By all means, let me know down below. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.